Now, we just had the end of April month 2021, and April is known to be the stress awareness month. And looking at the statistics, it's quite evident and obvious that throughout the world there has been a tremendous increase in the amount of stress levels in people and anxiety and fear. Now, there are a lot of signs in which we can find out whether we're stressed or not, because sometimes people can think they're not stressed, but they actually are. Some signs are subtle, it can be difficult to find out, and some are kind of obvious, right? Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing three warning signs that is more to do with the mind, because there are other signs which is related to the body, like headache and change in eating patterns and things like that. But in this video, I'm going to be focusing more in related to the mind, so that you can maybe self introspect on yourself and try to figure out. Hey guys, Nandip here. Thank you so much for watching this. Now, before I can get into the three signs that I want to share, let me just say that this pandemic period and the lockdown, it has forced us to stay at home and reflect on ourselves a lot. Now, this is something that does not happen, right, unless and until we've been forced to shut ourselves inside our homes, which means that we are in our own space, what we call as home, which is a physical home, which actually, in turn, if you notice, which forces you to get inside your home, which is like the mind, in other words, and see what things are going there inside. And this is like a perfect time for sort of things which is there in your mind. It can be stress, or it can be certain things that are just like cluttered up inside your mind. It is easier for those things to show up front, right? Because that is why a lot of people, why I feel find it difficult to stay in a quiet place or meditate or do one thing with a lot of focus, is because there are a lot of things in their mind that disturbs them, right? And when we are mostly confined to a single place, which is something that we are not used to. We used to travel and go here and there, and it's a fast paced life. And when that is cut down, somehow or the other, a lot of things that are there stored up inside comes up front and starts showing up, and it is a stressful period. So I hope you get the point here. When we try to self introspect on our by ourselves, like doing some journaling practice or meditation practice, then that is something that we voluntarily take up to do. But this is something that is involuntary, and it can lead to a lot of fear for a lot of people. Now, this is I think, given the current context and the life and the experiences that we are going through right now during this pandemic period, I think this is one of the major reasons why a lot of people are uh, feeling the stress. It is simply facing their own, their own voices inside, and their own clutters that is being holding up, that they are being holding up inside, is kind of just showing up, right? This is one part. I'm not saying this can be the whole thing, but the other part can also that that they could get the virus themselves. So that could be that could be causing stress and fear. Now, getting into the first one is what is called the resilience quotient. Now, resilience, it means something that makes you come out of stress. You bounce back from stress and do something productive for yourself. Resilience means, now all of us go through stress, but some people bounce back like stronger, and some people don't. Now, what I mean by this is, when you have a problem, like when you have a triggering situation that leads to stress, whether it be from some person or some news, or it can be your physical health, or it can be health based. Now, it can either affect you and your mood and your emotions and how you're feeling throughout the day, or it can affect you for like half a day, and for some people it can be there for just for 1 hour. You see, the time that it takes for you to come back into a neutral state, right, if not a very joyous state, come back to like a calm state, for some people it takes quite a lot of time. Now, if you take a lot of time to come back, it could mean that there are certain things that is holding you up as stress from the inside, and whatever external trigger that is coming is just like giving you a spark, and just a trigger point that kickstarts and and makes you feel the stress from the inside. Now, that was resilience quotient. Now, that is the first one. And the second thing in the mind is lack of interest, being disinterested to do things for at least for a very long time, right? Because you're not able to focus on one thing for a long time, and there is a lack of interest. I've had people say to me that even the things that they like to do, they're not able to do it with a lot of interest, and they're not able to enjoy their process to do it, and this is kind of understandable because they are now forced to work only from home, and it can be home related work, and everything has become online, and they're confined to a space. These are things not just restricted to the pandemic time. It can be even otherwise, because even before the pandemic I've had people say that they're not interested to do things like, it can be basic things that they do at their work or at their home. They're not interested to in social gatherings. This is another important thing to note down, because they are not interested to socialize. Their social behavior changes, and they're not that outgoing. Of course, by nature, there can be people who are shy, but it all depends on the individual and how they have been before and how things have changed for them. So, that can be a way to introspect and find out for themselves. So, the second thing was lack of interest. And the third reason is mood and a lack of energy, which is kind of related to the second point that I said, which is a lack of interest. And there is this lack of interest because you don't have much energy, your mood just fluctuates, and like I said, you feel this lack of energy, which again leads to lack of a proper sleep cycle. Now you find it difficult to sleep. When it comes to sleep, the beautiful thing is when you sleep like a baby, if not like a baby, at least if you sleep peacefully. Some people, they just hit the bed and then sleep so quick. Whereas the others, even if they feel tired, they don't fall asleep too quick. It takes some time, and they want to do something. They want to check the phone and somehow just cover up or escape from the stress that they might be going through. So yeah, these are the things that I wanted to share. Just to give a quick recap, the first is the amount of time that you take to come back from an external trigger, right? It can be even a small thing that can lead you to stay upset. And the second thing is a lack of interest. You're not interested to do the things. You don't take up things to do it interestingly. It can be talking to other people, meeting other people, social gatherings. And the third thing is a change in your energy. You don't feel much energy. You feel like some people feel a lot of sleep, right? They sleep for, I've heard Deepika Padukone, the actress, who said, I was depressed, and in order to fight this depression, she was sleeping. She used to sleep for 16 hours or more in a day. That can be for some people, and for others it can be lack of sleep. So all this depends from person to person, but these are certainly certain things that we have to keep in mind to make sure that we introspect on these and see how things have changed for us. Look back in the past, or at least in the recent times, and how these factors have changed. I'm also going to be posting a video on how there can be bodily signs like or symptoms. So I'll be making a post on one day after this. Do comment down in the comment below and give that like button if you like this, and share it with people whom you think can benefit from this, right? And also join my Facebook group. I'll leave the link down below. It's called Stresscape Society. It's dedicated for people who want to conquer their stress permanently and make progress in their life. Plus some additional resources and podcasts on the same topic that I spoke. I hope you found this useful. I'll see you next time.